Meeting to order. It is 9 a.m. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Brian Chalik, lead us.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Otis, any public comment?
Not yet, no.
We do not have any public comment. Clerk, treasurer, instead, layman. We have claims approval.
I do. We have the payroll for October 11th.
Microphone.
On. It's on. Can you not hear me? Hello? Okay, start again. We have payroll for October 11th in the amount of $532,902.58.
I move we approve the payroll.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Civil City claims in the amount of $618,469.17.
I move we approve the civil city claims.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
We have water claims in the amount of $288,523.42.
I move we approve the water claims.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
And finally, we have sewage claims in the amount of $290,143.98.
I move we approve the sewage claims.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Approval of physical inventory, CBIZ.
As part of our annual report, we are required to have detail of our fixed assets, anything over $5,000. State statute requires that it has to be done physical every 2 years. So CBIZ is our provider that does this for us. They've been doing it probably a good 10, 12 years. They will be on site the first week of December. Courtney has already sent out emails to department heads and admins, letting them know that they'll be here to do a physical inventory and that they need to be prepared. Because we needed to get it in before the end of the year, Courtney went ahead and asked for them to please submit a proposal, and the contract amount is for $42,500. I ask that you authorize the, I believe, mayor to sign this.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Again, this is state statute
It is.
requirement, so.
It's a requirement.
Mayor, you know, as I kind of went through this, thinking like, oh gosh, you know, it's quite a bit for like this type of an assessment, but after I went through all the details of the different, the physical plant we have, in terms of all the parks and everything else, it's honestly, it's an astounding list of physical assets that need to be inventoried, so it definitely made a lot more sense to me after I reviewed that.
Yeah, it's gonna take them some time.
But you start talking about local dollars and requirements at the state with audits, everything else, we're into the six figures easily between all of that, that's a requirement, so.
And truly, I thought, well, could we do this ourselves? But to think like the amount of manpower it would take, you'd have to stop almost everything else probably for quite a bit of time to, anyway, that was,
I think it'll also look better from the auditor, this State Board of Accounts, for it to be a third party, because then there's no misappropriation.
You would have
good
to have
point, yeah.
somebody full-time to be able to do this and keep up with it in-house. There's just no way. There's just no way.
Yeah.
I do have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Lehman.
You're welcome.
Department head reports. Dan Drake, Code Enforcement.
Morning, Mayor. Board.
Morning.
As we start coming out of the grass season, it's slowing down, but we're gonna start focusing on some problem properties, try to find some of the owners. We just had a recent condemnation down on Jefferson, so we're gonna start hitting some of the vacant properties, locating some of their owners, try to see if we can force them into moving, doing something, would be basically about it. So that's kind of our focus right now, problem and vacant properties.
Good. Thank you, Dan. Tim Werner, Water. Jerry Jackson, Wastewater.
We're disposing of our
Microphones.
solids, thank you. We're disposing of our solids
Got
this
you, Russ.
week, hauling them out to the farm. That's usually 3-4 day activity, and try to do that, you know, the fields are open this time of year, do that right before winter, so then our solids storage tank is available again to get us through the winter. So,
Nick Minnick, Engineering.
Not much, just, we did have our pre-construction meeting with NDOT for the US 35 project last week. It was on Friday, and their first phase really won't have a lot of impact on city residents. It's the utility portion that goes between Boyd and Indiana Avenue, so we won't see much this fall, with the exception they will start doing some clearing of right-of-way, so trees will start coming down, but again, there's a replacement plan, and they do have a, you know, good strategy to make sure Indiana Avenue looks beautiful when it's all done.
Lehman, Ms. Lehman. Clerk Treasurer, Nick Otis, Legal.
Nothing beyond what I have on the agenda today.
Chief Buell, Police.
Last week, I was in contact with DA Dodd about our air handler. It still has not arrived. I assume they're still putting it together. We have, by the end of this month and first part of November, we will have all 44 merit positions filled, which hasn't been done in a very, very long time, so we're very pleased about that. And today, we have one of our newest officers, Wesley Walls, who's not new. He's got 16 years' experience that like to come up and introduce himself to you.
Absolutely. Mr. Walls, come forward, state your name, and welcome to the city of LaPorte.
Well, my name is Wesley Walls. Started my law enforcement career back in 2008 as a reserve officer. So I went to academy in 2010 and continued my law enforcement career with Walkerton. And I was a K-9 officer for 9 years. I was assistant chief for 6 years. Done quite a bit, but it's mainly who I am.
How long have you been in the field for us now?
I have now been with almost a full month. So, and I really like it here, so I made it home, and everybody's wonderful and great. There's no complaints whatsoever.
The FTO program that he's going through is being sped ahead. He's in a shadow period now, so by the end of the month, he's good to go. He's brought a lot of experience to our department, and we're grateful to have him here.
I appreciate that.
We love having you here, and we have an aggressive team and aggressive leaders, so we look for great things out of you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome and thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Snyder.
On that same note, we, as of yesterday morning, are up to our full 45 firefighters on the department. Owen Barsick started yesterday, and he came back this morning, so we're pretty happy with it.
Excellent.
Awesome. Congratulations on being, you know, full force for police and fire.
Mayor, I was aware too that fire's responding out to 39 North obviously now, and you've gotten some really positive feedback. Is that what?
Absolutely, and Chief Snyder, that's a great point. If you don't mind sharing some of the response from 39 residents.
Yeah, now that we are a few months into responding out there, we are getting really positive response back. Our crews that are the boots on the ground as they're responding, they are hearing over and over again how quickly they are responding. Unusual, and I shouldn't say unusual, but in past, the residents haven't seen that, and they're just really happy that we are responding, and we're bringing the caliber of personnel and response as far as even medical response to there, so.
And obviously, it's not just to fire, it's to medical emergencies, and you're often there quicker than EMS, is it?
Most, yeah, almost always, unless our rig is somewhere else, which doesn't usually happen, but they are responding minutes ahead of EMS. And again, the residents are complimenting on how quickly we're getting there and being able to aid.
And I assume you can provide medical care, I mean, you have people trained to provide that
Yes,
emergency.
all of our firefighters are trained to at least an EMT basic, and we do have several paramedics now on staff, so that just mirrors what EMS has on their staff as far as certifications and qualifications.
Just hearing from the residents makes it exactly why we did it and makes it all worthwhile. So thank you both, police and fire, for protecting 39 North.
Yeah, that's great news.
Mark Schreiber, Park Department.
Morning. Just want to highlight a few things we have going on. The LaPorte Park Foundation will have their Picnic Under the Stars, which is a fundraiser going on November 15th at the Civic Auditorium. That's a Friday evening. We'll have raffles, prizes, point and finger band, food and drink. Going to be a great night to celebrate the Park Foundation. And they've been around for 40 years. A lot of people maybe have heard of the Park Foundation, maybe don't have them on their radar, but they've been a tremendous asset to the Park Department. We also have other sponsorship opportunities right now for businesses in the community. Our downtown ice rink, obviously, we're about on the season for that. The LaPorte Invitational, Winterfest, and the Park Foundation's annual campaign are all ongoing. And we will have our Prancer Palooza, which will also be another sponsorship opportunity on December 15th at the Civic Auditorium. We'll have a showing of Prancer with a Q&A with Sam Elliott and other members of the cast and production team. We'll have tickets and sponsorship information coming out on Friday. I think this is going to be just an amazing community event at the Civic. We're going to really hopefully pack the auditorium for this showing and for this Q&A, and going to be a great day for us. And on the subject of the Civic, we have the Taylor Swift tribute on Friday night, Lover. Friday evening, it's going to be a great show. For all those people who maybe couldn't get tickets for Indianapolis, that's a tough ticket. You can still see a great show of Taylor Swift music on Friday. Even if you did get tickets, it'd be a great warm-up to bring your family out for. It's going to be a really cool event.
Thank you.
Have you boned up on your Taylor Swift music yet?
I still don't know who she is. I think I'll go Friday, and maybe I'll get to know some of it, so.
Watch the
It's like he's
Chiefs.
feeling 22.
Yeah.
Watch the Chiefs, that's.
Craig Phillips, Planning.
Nothing new to report.
Mike Frey, Streets.
We're out tree removing, patching, and brush pickup this week. And then starting November 4th, we're gonna have leaf axe out, starting at least until the most of the leaves coming down, then we'll get both crews out.
And that'll be a 3-week usually, pickup of leaves.
It'll be till we're done, 3 rounds.
They haven't even started coming down much.
No, they haven't.
It's so weird, isn't it? They're hanging on.
And we're gonna start with leaf axe up in 39, that area.
Great. Thank you, sir. Andrea Smith, HR.
Nothing today, sir.
And also Annette Leffler, Prancer Palooza. I think it's been discussed, so. All right, those department heads that do not have business before us can go enjoy the day. New business, Nick Otis.
Thank you. Two items, you can actually take them up as one if you wish. This is regarding eminent domain proceedings that the city has undertaken regarding the overpass project here in LaPorte. And the state has done most of the eminent domain purchasing or eminent domain, but this specific one we were tasked with doing. This is Spectrum Recycling on the northeast side of the railroad tracks. We need this land for the overpass. Have previously went through the process of making the required offer prior to initiating eminent domain proceedings, and then have done that. Just as a procedural background, 3 appraisers get appointed, and they assessed the damages at $508,300. This is a much lower amount than I think we had anticipated. And then additionally, we are responsible for paying the appraiser fees of $1,500 per appraiser, $4,500 total. That will be paid directly to the clerk of the courts. That doesn't get paid directly to them. And then the clerk will distribute that money to the appraisers. Just, again, to give some background, once the city makes this payment to the clerk of the courts, we effectively have control over the property. However, there is for lack of a better term, an appeal process that the defendant, DHS/Spectrum, can take to challenge this amount. I suspect, again, without trying to predict, I suspect they're going to disagree with this and proceed through the court system. But this allows us to begin the process of moving forward. We need this to take control of this parcel, speaking with the city engineer by early next year, so that INDOT and their contractors can begin this process. We've worked quite a bit with the property owner, trying to find some relocation options for them as well, and we have some leads but haven't finalized anything with them. So I would request approval of paying the $508,300 to the clerk of the courts, plus the $4,500 for the appraiser fee.
And again, the eminent domain was also requested by the property owner.
Well, yeah, he wouldn't
He wanted to go
wouldn't
through that.
agree to, yeah, we'd made very significant offers to him prior to this, in addition to the required statutory offer that we made as well. So, yeah, so this is a good result, but it's not the end of it. It kind of takes two paths at this point. The one path, we deposit the money, we can take control of the property, and then the path of, going through the court system, and the court could agree with this amount, the court could say it's more, could say it's less, so.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
So with that, because I couldn't remember these discussions prior, but you're saying that if this amount ends up being the final amount, it's quite a bit less than we thought that it could be?
Yep.
Okay. But yet,
Well,
obviously, on
one of the
appeal, it could change,
difficulties, we've done eminent domain, I've done quite a few over the years. This is kind of a specialized business that's got extremely heavy equipment. I mean, it's really unique, and so valuing it was was difficult, right? So, I mean, if you had a house, like a residential house, I mean, you could maybe argue on the fringes a couple percent, but you could get 5 appraisers and probably get 5 wildly different, estimates. So, I don't know if Nick Minnick has anything to add.
Yeah, there's a lot of challenges. The appraisers ended up really, I think the court directed them, what's the value of the property and what are the damages. But beyond that, is the cost of relocating the scrap material, well, that's their business, is that, there's
What
scale, there's so much involved in something like that, it's good to rely on the professional expertise of those appraisers.
And do you anticipate that, in terms of another location, that this is something that should go somewhat smoothly in terms of them being able to move? I mean, if they choose to, obviously.
There are options. There's a couple within the city. There's a couple outside the city as well. I think it's just a business decision for him. I have to admit, I don't know his exact market of where he gets his customers, if they're all within the city, if it's commercial. I just don't know. So I don't know what's driving that decision-making on his end. So, I mean, you or I could take scrap metal there if we wanted to, but I'm sure they also have commercial customers, and there will be at times, and I know code enforcement's communicated with, I mean, they can have scrap metal stacked up 30 feet high on the property sometimes, so.
And that was really never a proper place to have that type of business in the middle of the housing and so forth as well. So this is an opportunity to correct an issue from the past, so.
Well, it's the overpass, I mean, we're closing, remember, 3 at-grade crossings is a part of this. The crossing where the tracks, where that overpass will go, and then 2 others. also allow for first responders to more quickly get to that side of town, right? They can count on no trains being there. And it'll just improve an area that's already seen significant improvement, so.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Chief Snyder.
Thank you, Your Honor. I've submitted a quote to the board for Magna Grip. This is in reference to a grant that we received from FEMA, Homeland Security, through the Assistance to Firefighters Grant. We talked about this a few months back, probably in August or so, and we've gone through actually receiving the quotes. Just as probably a little refresher for this, we had, the total grant amount was $141,147. It's a 90-10 grant, so FEMA was $128,315, and ours was $12,831. You'll notice that it's only one quote. I probably should interject here that it is a HGAC, which is the Houston Galveston Area Council. We've used that in the past. It forgoes the bid or quote process because it's a purchasing consortium that allows for the assumed lowest pricing has already been received. We used Houston Galveston, HGAC, back when we bought a couple of fire trucks in 2018-19. We've more recently used Sourcewell for purchases, the same concept, just a different company or just an oversight. The quote that you have in front of you is for what was submitted on the grant, came to I think I have it right in front, $136,695. That you can see is below the number that we had received in the grant funds. So we did ask them to submit for a couple of extra parts for the systems, which brought us to a total grant amount then of $142,250. So I am asking the board to approve that amount and allow us to sign the contract with Magna Grip to get those exhaust systems put into the fire stations.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
And the city's share of that is just under 13,000, is
Right,
that correct?
yeah.
12,800.
Yeah, that 12,000 in the original one. Now since we did exceed that amount of the total grant by about $1,000, now the city's share will be $13,934.55. That is within our budget for the 2024 budget, so there won't be any additional funds requested from the clerk treasurer's office.
We do appreciate the 90-10.
Yeah, we love that.
Absolutely. Oh, I noticed it's a certified women's-owned small business as well.
Yeah.
Further comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Roscoe Hoffman, Ivy Tech.
Mr. Mayor, Board, good morning.
Morning.
What I was going to request is the approval for the contract here for Ivy Tech internship. A few months back, I received a forward email from our council president, Mr. Frankie, of internships that they're doing at Ivy Tech. I was able to get in contact with them, and in short, they are really excited. They have a lot of interns available, but they had nobody who was willing to take on an intern. So what you have here is a job description, and I just put some brief information as far as what the intern, that's not specific to what every intern would do, but it's an example of what the intern would be able to learn when they come here learning at the City of LaPorte. Part of the internship as well, there's the opportunity to provide 2 interns. The first intern that you can get from Ivy Tech is one that you have the opportunity to pay. And the second intern, if you pay that second intern, you get reimbursed after that. So it's a reimbursement. So we get 2 for the price of 1. And when I talked to the lady, I thought it was a fabulous idea. We would get, I just think it's great for somebody to see what we do here at LaPorte. When it comes to divulging information and security and stuff like that, there's background checks that they're going to have to go through. some of them are gonna have to do work with me at the police department, and police department, you have to have an FBI CJIS clearance in order to get through. So I would have to make sure that they have that done in order to do any work at PD, which would be wonderful. And even at the same time, if we have our FBI audit that's coming up, hopefully sometime this year, already have us ready, Chief, for that audit. So we're ready to go. That person would be able to see not just what we do here, but how we are able to, our day-to-day IT process. So I hope you'd be willing to approve this.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Discussion, and it sounds like there's enough work for 2 interns to stay busy.
More than enough, sir. Oh, yeah, they'd be busy.
Can I add to that also? This is for 2024 at the very top, summer of 2024. It is not in the budget for this year. It is
Thank
in
you.
the budget and on the salary ordinance for next year.
Next year, yes.
2025.
Exactly, yeah, thank you for the clearance there. Yes, this is a 2025, so the plan is for spring of 2025, not for this year. Thank you so much, ma'am.
So,
So the preparation, I'm just trying to get ahead of the game, starting right now. I've already had conversations with them. The hope is we get the approval now. I get the plan and details of everything they need. I've talked to Andrea. Andrea's looked over the job description and the conversation that's necessary. So when they come here, we're not disorganized. They know exactly what's going on. They see the order here. They see how we function, you know, and they know, and they say, oh my goodness, you know, Tom is an awesome mayor. And I'm like, calm down.
well, then let's amend the motion to make it for spring of 2025. Do I have an
Thank you, sir.
amended motion?
Amended.
And second?
So I have an amended motion and a second. Further discussion?
Do you pick the interns? Do you do an interview process with them?
So that's a great question.
Ivy Tech?
So what they would do is they would actually fill out an application for us, and then what I'm doing is I already told her this is what I'm looking for in an intern. So they would provide according to what we're looking for. What the goal is to really have them learn so much when they're here. When they leave, they're bragging about what they learned here. So then people want to come here to learn. You know, we have the Udemy Learning Center that we got from the state. I think I got that from the state about 2 months ago. And that's an area where they will be also learning within that, learning different aspects when it comes to CompTIA. So it's more of somebody who thinks they want to do IT. Well, you're going to get loaded and find out whether you like it or not.
That's great.
Further comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Tim Werner.
Good morning to the board. This morning I had before you a proposal for engineering services for the 39 north elevated tank design from Nice Engineering. It covers everything from design of site improvements and fencing all the way down to preparation of the bid report with recommendations to the lowest bidder to water department staff. The contract amount not to exceed is $133,750. That also includes some specialty services for coatings and stuff like that that will have to be kind of specific to the project, so that is included in here. Along with that, I also gave you guys a timeline, kind of showing how everything's shaken out for the tanks here. I know at one time we had like a 2 to 3 year wait on the tank, and as you can see, if we were going to award the bid, hopefully, you know, here in June or July, that the materials would be delivered the following June. So we are below that year wait time. And I also want to remind the public that I know we've started services in 39 North quite a while ago, but the actual infrastructure didn't come over to the city till the end of September. So all this was already, we were ready to go once that deal was made with 39 North on the infrastructure. So I just wanted to make sure everybody's a little clear on that. That's why we're a little behind here. We didn't want to put a bunch of money into soil borings and stuff like that until we knew that the infrastructure was coming our way. So at this time, I'm just asking for your guys' permission to sign and execute this contract. That way we can get moving forward to continue to keep the promises we made to the 39 North residents.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. And you're already doing some work on the grounds, or
Yeah.
getting ready to.
So I signed a contract, about, well, I think the day after we acquired the infrastructure for soil borings out there. That way we know that it's gonna hold the weight of a tank in that area. So we're just waiting for the soil boring company to fit us in our schedule. Once the soil borings are completed, NICE will look over that information, and then we'll start to move forward. We do have another land accusation that we'll be working on here shortly with Mr. Otis, for the suction tank at the booster station. So there is a couple more pieces to the puzzle here, but basically, this is all covered in this contract, and we will be moving forward with the main water supply tank for 39 North, which will be just south of the toll road.
How heavy are those things? They have to be, has to be very heavy.
Yeah, well, you're thinking just the water alone in it, water's,
8 pounds a gallon, right?
yeah, and we're looking at 500,000 gallons of water in there. And so that's just the water that's in the tank itself, so.
2,000 tons of water.
Yeah. Quite the load. So, yeah, like I said, we're just making sure everything's looking good out in that area, and then we'll start moving forward. We'll, go out to bidding to the different tank companies. There's about 3 of them that we're dealing with right now. And then hopefully award sometime in August and get moving forward on this project.
So time-wise between design, ordering materials, construction, so you're thinking it'd be sort of, did I get it right that it's probably summer of 2026?
Delivery of the tank should be about May, June of 2026, and then it looks like, with the painting and everything, that we'll be up and running February of 2027. Like I said, the year wait for the tower is the big part in there, which is a lot better than it was a couple years ago. Even 6 months ago, they were still telling us 2.5 to 3 years on tower. A lot of communities took advantage of the American Rescue Plan and bought tanks, and that just backed everything up, along with the other supply issues that are nationwide.
That won't just benefit 39 North. I mean, now that the whole system's tied, we have.
Yeah, it's definitely going to help 39 North, but it's also going to help us on that north end of town. We've talked about these high velocity events. Now we'll have water coming from a different way, stored water coming from a different way, which helps ease that high velocity in the pipes, especially along Pine Lake Ave, where a lot of our restaurants and hotels and stuff are. That's always been a concern of the water department when we had a high flow event out in that area. We've talked, numerous times that we don't want that area to disrupt city services or services for the residents inside town. So that's where the second tank comes into place too. That way we don't have that surge of fill in that tank. It kind of breaks the systems apart. That way we can, when there is a high flow event out there, we'll be able to handle it with flying colors. Our fire department will be able to do what they need to do out in that area.
Further comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Mike Fraze, approval of bollards.
These bollards are for Orchard and Weller Avenue. Got quotes from Advantage Highway for $7,475. Quick Curb, $13,144.80, and Michael Todd was $16,974.02. We wanted to go with Quick Curb for $13,144 because the cheaper ones, they're not the same pipe.
And these are the ones on the north side of Orchard?
On the north side of Orchard, and at Weller on the south and north side.
So to help keep our number and keep our quiet zone intact, because we had an individual that crossed over at Pulaski, while the arms were down. We've been working, and David Heinhold has done a great job of working with the Federal Transit or Federal Railroad, and they look at an overall percentage and we had to get our percentage down because we were gonna be over the standard, and they were gonna require us to eliminate the quiet zone. But now with these bollards, and with the help of the county,
County is paying a third on the one on Orchard.
on the north side of Orchard. So Orchard and Weller will now, we should see improvements from a safety perspective there. And these bollards will be able to do that. So do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
So I do have a motion and a second. Discussion.
What's a bollard?
That's the bollards that go down the middle, it keeps the traffic on
Yellow
one side. They
stand
can't
up.
go, where they can't go around the gates.
Oh, okay.
They're kind of movable, right? I mean, if a vehicle hit them, they kind of, they flex. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. They're
Hey, Mike, I got
over
a question
by-
for you.
Yeah, they're over by,
We had a couple comments about on Weller, how kind of snaky that is, and just from my experience, I've been telling people it's measurements from the curb line out to there. So I just wanted to make sure everybody's aware of that. When you come down Weller, it kind of looks snaky, but I was telling everybody that that's measurements from the
It
curb
looks
line to
what?
there. Little snaky.
Snaky,
You
okay.
when you're coming down the hill, you look at it, it's kind of, and so I just wanted to reassure everybody, that's what that is the measurements from the curb line.
in certain areas.
Well, and unfortunately, I mean, it's just kind of, it's making it more inconvenient for people to do the wrong thing, right? Because they could still start further back, but, I mean, sometimes it just baffles me, like how much you have to do to get people to just do the right thing. I mean, for their own safety, right? That's what this is all about.
For safety.
How was the location chosen? Why at Orchard? Are we just trying to go intersection?
It's
by
every
intersection,
train
or-
track in the city. And part of that intersection is in the city and part of it's not. Is that right? So I think the north side is not in the city, and then on the south side, like.
Portion of it is, we blend it in, but also Weller and Orchard are identified as, if we want to make a larger impact to keep us below that number, those are the two
I see.
crossings that would do that.
Okay.
We get a lot of complaints, don't we, about trains sitting on those.
Yes.
Right there too, which is.
They do, yeah.
One complaint I did see on social media was from a bus driver on, I guess that would be one, if the train's sitting there, like, these bollards do make it hard for them to turn around. That is the one but I think weighing all of the things, right, Mayor,
Safety.
Safety first, absolutely. Just like the speed bumps at Riley, so. All that, do I have any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Michael. Jerry Jackson, grinder pump quotes.
Got quotes for grinder pumps for our McClung Road project. During the project, we extended the sewer further towards Severs Road to serve the 1900 Severs Road address. That's an existing office building and the proposed apartments that would go on the north side of McClung. That was part of the annexation in the 39 North, that bit of the area. And then we extended the project to serve the VFW as part of a negotiation on their easement. And those two items and some very other small ones brought us up near our 20% contract limit on change orders.
Yeah.
So, there was 3 additional parcels that wanted to connect into the sewer system. These would be parcels that would be annexed and then connect in. Our cost to, the quote for the additional work, which is 3 grinder stations, is $70,142. We only got one quote, requested 3. So that addition, this is separate from the project, as far as the bids go, so this doesn't push us over that change order limit. I'd ask the board approve this quote so that we can serve the 3 additional parcels. They're 147 McClung Road, 153 McClung Road, and 133 McClung Road. We're almost up all the way down the road now, getting pretty close. And those parcels are also important to serve because they're right on the lake.
And how many homes are left that are not connected from many, many, many years ago? Couple?
I should redo a count. It's, I know we were well under 100 5 years ago, and we've made some progress. I'll have to make a count.
But we're knocking it down.
We're knocking it down. We've done enough extension that there's sewer available nearly to everyone in town. We've gotten to nearly everyone in town now.
Fantastic.
We're very close.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. And again, when we talk about infrastructure, we've committed to doing what we said we're gonna do. So from every angle, opportunity, it continues, the need is continual, but we are doing what we said we'd do. Unfinished business, just a couple things, as you've heard, stay tuned for Prancer Palooza. It's coming December 15th, and you'll be able to enjoy a Prancer movie and Q&A with the actors, which is pretty cool.
And Prancer?
I know Prancer will be there, but
Are you kidding me?
maybe one of Prancer's relatives will be showing up.
Okay. Yeah, I should hope so.
Where do you get a reindeer anyways?
A descendant.
Yes. We're also hoping.
Somebody's gonna have a smoker there, I think.
For Prancer? Why would you say that?
All right, well, I do suspect that we will have opportunities for some nonprofits during that season. People will be able to come and donate as well. Also, just as a reminder, as I said last evening, we have committed to, we will win the war on drugs, and that's an everyday commitment, and Chief is on board, his team is on board, but it does take all of us to work together. So if you see something, say something, but these individuals that are trafficking, and we saw witness to some of them on Sunday with kids around 6 and 7, young kids going up and down, the no mercy approach is where we are, and no patience for individuals that are trafficking and dealing drugs in our community, and we'll continue to put the hammer down, again, with no mercy. So Chief Buell obviously is leading that charge, and will continue to do so. Hopefully with more officers, we'll be able to make people uncomfortable to come out of their front doors if they want to traffic, so.
Amen.
It's a whack-a-mole approach, but one will keep them on the run. With that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Have a great day.